Hey guys, sorry for the bedtime videos. It's just I'm exhausted, and it's been quite a weekend. We had my son's birthday party today at the bouncy house. 2 whole hours of absolute, complete, and total exhaustion. Saturday, we moved all of the Christmas stuff up out of the basement. Did the front of the house. We put the trees together. Trees, yeah, more than one. And I was up and down the stairs all morning, and then I went to jiu-jitsu, and then I went to Muay Thai. So my legs, like, literally, like, they hurt to the touch today. It's special. And then I bounced. It was a wonderful weekend, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And what was really great was that I had the opportunity to go down to the Karma Fest Trading Post. I always screw that up. The KTP. And get some meditation and do stretch and sketch. Yeah, that. And I really had a wonderful, amazing, love-filled, action-packed family weekend. I'm totally thankful. Why did I preface that? Because this week's challenge is all about attitude. And I wanted to talk about an experience that I had. I know technically it shouldn't count because it was last week, but I'm counting it. After jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, I was completely overheated and exhausted. I've been fighting off a cold for a while now, and I am not winning. So I'd pushed myself because I was really working on turning my hip over on my left leg. I've been having some frustrations with that. My left leg just isn't working like it should be, like it normally would be. I've lost some flexibility because I haven't been doing my daily classes Monday through Wednesday, and I just was feeling a little frustrated, and it was something that I wanted to work on. I've also been working on 2 really great combos. One I'm calling the Rainbow Combo, and no, I'm not telling you what it is, in case anyone looks these up before I fight. What? Yeah. Yeah. So we were talking, a bunch of people coming and going, at the end of class. And one gentleman who is fighting in February was voicing his frustration about everyone else's expectations about his attitude and his schedule towards meeting his goals. For example, we just had a few guys go through fights in, like, literally the past 2 weeks. If you keep up with my MMA side, you'll know. And so everyone was kind of hyped up off of that. And our expectations going forward as a gym for the future are extremely high because everyone's just totally kicking butt. It's really amazing time to be a Method MMA member and supporting our team. Yay, go team. And so him being a newer, up-and-coming kind of amateur fighter who isn't doing it to go pro, he's doing it because he's accomplishing a dream, and everyone's pushing him. But he doesn't want to be pushed in that way. Some people grow stronger under pressure, the whole coal into diamond. Some people don't like that. He's one of those people, and I respect that. Of course, it would be different if he were like, yes, I want to go pro. Well, yeah, people need to be hard on you because you need to figure out very quickly if this is something you really do want or not. But obviously, with his very explicit and specific goal of having a few amateur fights because he wants to accomplish a dream, I don't think that that's something that people should be like, He was coming off of an injury. A few, actually. Yeah, a few. He does powerlifting, and actually has a bunch of medals and a bunch of jiu-jitsu medals, and he's a really good guy. I think he'll really accomplish a lot if he sets his mind to it and continues following his schedule. One of the gentlemen, I don't want to get too specific. I don't think they watch any of these, but just in case. One of the gentlemen had basically insinuated that he wasn't serious about his dedication. So you're seeing one very specific attitude, with the intent to make him better, but very much clashing with the fighter's attitude of, I'm doing this at my own pace because I know my body and I don't want to push it and get hurt again. And those two very attitudes, both meaning to help this person be stronger and better and successful, clashed and didn't go well. Apparently, I wasn't there to see the sparring match, but yeah. But after that, things went back to normal. And that's what's pretty cool about being, in a physical sport. You can settle things very quickly, and then be friends again. Yay! But when we were discussing that for someone else that had missed it as well, and he was talking about his fights and his attitudes towards his goals and his fights, and had some recommendations, that sort of thing. And we switched conversation to Lenny's fight. And they had 2 women's matches. One was kickboxing, and then one was half kickboxing, half MMA. I'm not sure. But we were discussing the K1, the kickboxing, and how they had the specific headgear that must not have been the headgear that they trained in, because both women who were fighting were constantly stopping to adjust their headgear to see, because the cutouts on the eyes are very specific. They really don't give you much room. So if you don't adjust your headgear, you can't see. And they had each girl in red or blue, their corner colors. So I'm like 99% sure that those weren't the things that they trained in. And we were expressing how it was disappointing to see women in the sport not doing well. Of course, that's, again, complete and total outsider perspective. I think that they were both very happy after their fight. Girls both hugged each other. No one was seriously injured, thank goodness. And they seemed very happy with the results. It was interesting, as someone who had done, martial arts before and that sort of thing, to see 2 women who were one was extremely, extremely technical, and the other was a very brawler. Straight up, just not clean, not sharp. And the other gentleman who was there, who was an experienced amateur fighter, like, does a lot, like, maybe even go pro. I'm not sure what his intentions are, but he's very good. And he said, there are times when I think I look really sloppy in the ring, and he was basically giving his experiences. Not that we weren't cutting down the women, more just expressing how we wished that it could have been better, if that makes sense. Yeah. And the gentleman was extremely kind in saying that, he thought that I could do that and be good at that and be successful at that. And I was like, I'd love to fight, Anyone who knows me will absolutely know that I would love to fight. And the really good guy was like, you should totally fight. Yeah, I saw you should totally fight. I was like, I would love to fight. I would love to fight. And that is my very specific attitude towards that. Now, the problem with having an attitude is that it's not having a goal. Having an attitude is having an attitude, whether it's a cocky attitude, a sassy attitude, a humble attitude. Whatever your attitude is, it is not moving forward towards a goal. My point exactly. My attitude is having a positive outlook on life. Does that do anything? Not really. It affects the way that I perceive and react to things. It doesn't change anything explicitly. Same thing with, I want to fight. Well, yeah, of course I want to fight. Who doesn't want to fight? Anyone that trains pretty much wants to fight. Seriously, it's a thing. It is, I swear. You can ask anybody. Seriously, ask anybody. Obviously, at this point in time, if someone said, hey, do you want to fight tomorrow? I'd be like, yes. Am I ready to fight tomorrow? No. Maybe, yeah. I think that I could probably do well if the other person was a first-time fighter as well. I'll give you that. But the thing is, when it comes to fighting, it absolutely comes down to who you're training with, how long you've trained, how much time you've trained. If you've had a fight camp, or call it fight camp, 6 to 4 weeks ahead of time, you're specifically training for that and only that, which means is a tremendous time dedication, is tremendous money dedication. I have a whole video about that. And while I would absolutely love to fight, I don't have the resources to put into that right now. Does that suck? Yeah, totally, completely and totally sucks. Yes, yep, yeah. I'd love to do that. I would. Yeah, in a heartbeat. But my attitude towards putting that effort in and getting a fight is, it's not a priority right now. Do you see? I'd love to fight. It's not a priority right now. The dream, the reality. Could I? Yeah, totally, absolutely. I mean, really, all you would have to do is put me in a ring with whoever. I mean, you could put me in a ring with a 300-pound dude, and the only thing you'd have to say is, he was talking crap about your kids, and I would mama bear snap in an instant. That's all you'd have to say. He said so and so about your son. He said so and so about your daughter. Like, oh hell no. Yeah. Seriously, I keep waiting for those hormones to wear off. I'm just not sure that they will at this point. I think at some point the total exhaustion starts to balance out the hormones, so the oh hell no becomes whatever. I figure I have another year or two till I get to that point. I'm tired, very tired. Totally worth it. Attitude, reality, tired. Attitude, totally worth it. It's interesting when you talk about attitudes. People have different perceptions of what an attitude is. For example, I was at the KTP. We were talking about my hair. They're complimenting me, and I was like, it's funny. I color my hair to keep me humble. And everyone just looked at me like I was a complete and total idiot. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Whenever I change my hair color, I really do kind of forget that my hair is not a normal color. Like, I really do. And I see people look at me, and I'm like, do I have something on my face? I'm like, what did I do? And then I'm like, oh yeah, my hair's blue. And everyone laughed. They're like, that's really cool. I'd never thought of that way. A lot of people think that people who dye their hair do it for attention. To be honest with you, most people who dye their hair do it because they want to dye their hair. It has nothing to do with anybody else. They like it. Yeah, pretty much. Seriously, like, who's going to be impressed with my purple hair? I don't know. Well, I don't know. I get a lot of awesome compliments on it. It is awesome. My hair is awesome. But, I don't really take that personally. Because most of the compliments are, I really love your hair. I wish I could do that. And I'm like, then do it. It's just hair. Seriously, it is. It's just hair. Again, it's an attitude. It's all an attitude. My cousin was telling me over Thanksgiving, she was like, I really wish that I could have pink hair. And I was like, really? You? Pink hair? That's very shocking. She works at the DMV now in a management position. And she told me, she was like, I'm afraid no one would take me seriously with pink hair. And then I looked at her and I'm like, no, you're looking at this the wrong way. You're thinking that someone who is absolutely irate